Today, you'll learn the most efficient method from every step of the game to go from nothing to being able to farm the strongest PvP kit in survival Minecraft. As soon as we start, our first goal is to get to the Nether. As we do this, we're going to collect as much gunpowder and sugarcane as we can because eventually we'll want close to 30 pieces of each. To get to the Nether, we're going to need at a minimum these items, but to be safer, I'm going to get there with some extra assurances. The best way to get this gear if you have an ocean available is to go and find shipwrecks and loot their buried treasure. If there are no oceans available, caving is also a good option. After crafting the required iron materials, we need a way to get to the Nether. Exploring on the surface, we can use ruined portals or surface lava leaks. Underground, lava will always generate below Y-55. In the Nether, we need blaze rods and ender pearls to eventually get to the end. To find spawners easily, we can use the pie chart by lowering our render distance by 1 and then reopening the pie chart until we can't see spawners. We can then check each surrounding chunk to find its rough direction. Since bastions also have spawners, this isn't a guaranteed way to find a fortress, but either structure is useful. To get pearls, we can use bastions or warped forests. Due to the nerf in piglin trades and the addition of piglin brutes, both methods are viable, but you'll need about 24 blocks of gold if you choose to use piglins. Once we have the blaze rods and the ender pearls, we're looking for the stronghold. Keep gathering gunpowder and sugarcane along the way, and if you find a village, this is a great place to get beds or to get a fletcher. To trade up to a bow and a stack of arrows with a villager, you'll need 25 logs and 2 flint. This is the entire list of items we'll want before heading down to the stronghold and going to the end. We're bringing bottles because we need dragon's breath for further into the process. Collecting books now isn't essential, but the stronghold is a free and easy source of them, so get some here if you'd like. No way. This game is so cursed. It's a zero-eye portal too. In the end, beat the dragon however you would like. If you're fighting the dragon normally and don't want to get launched into the air, whenever the dragon perches, make sure to turn on hitboxes using F3 and B and then go down into the fountain. This way you won't get charged during the fight. During the fight, collect dragon's breath, and after defeating the dragon, collect all the XP you can. Then head over to the end gateway and go to the outer end islands. In the outer end islands, our first goal is to get an elytra. A trick to find end cities easier is to know how they generate. End cities will only generate on chunks that are multiples of 20 plus an offset of 0 to +8. An end city can generate in the chunk -3461, but it can't generate in the chunk 74 -9. While exploring, make sure to have your pie chart turned on so you can instantly tell if an end city comes into your render distance. An end city with elytra will have an item frame listed as an entity. Once we have elytra, we can use the sugarcane and gunpowder we collected earlier to craft firework rockets to travel around the end much quicker. While we're exploring, we want to collect diamond armor, swords, shovels, pickaxes, and more elytra. These tools will carry very good enchantments, so we can upgrade all our gear here. However, we're specifically looking for 3 sword enchantments: mending or unbreaking 3, either one works, sweeping edge 3, and looting 3. If they are separate, these 3 enchantments should be combined onto 1 sword. Also, we're looking for 2 pickaxe enchantments, silk touch and fortune 3. For the armor and shovel, the exact enchantments don't matter, just pick up any items that seem good. Also, make sure to collect the diamonds, gold, iron, and emeralds you find, grab around 8 to 10 shulker boxes, and break the ender chests for their obsidian. Once you have silk touch, pick up at least 1 ender chest to store extra items. These are the only rooms in the end cities that have loot in them. Try to travel around the outside of the end cities so you don't have to deal with all the shulkers. After we've finished getting the enchantments, return to the main end island and mine a pillar until we have 7 stacks of obsidian in total. Back in the overworld, the next step is to locate a suitable place to build our base. Also, I'd recommend not sleeping during these steps so that we can get phantom membranes to repair elytra and get slow falling arrows in the future. We're looking for a pillager outpost in a relatively flat location close to a village and an ocean. Once we've found these structures, we need to collect this set of materials to build our first 2 farms: a villager breeder, and an iron farm. Links will be in the description to build every farm on this list. The reason we want to build these farms right away is so that in the background, while we're collecting materials and building other farms, we'll get iron and villagers for our trading hall. In the future, we're going to need to convert all of our villagers to zombie villagers and back, so along the way, grab spider eyes, sugarcane, brown mushrooms, and apples to convert the villagers. Now that we have these working in the background, our next step is to get the materials to build our nether farms. In the end, we already mined all of the needed obsidian, so now all we need are these items here. This set of items can be collected in the overworld, and this set should be collected from the nether. Since we have silk touch, we should be able to get turtle eggs from a nearby ocean easily. One turtle egg? No. I mean, thank you, but I need two. That was a pain. After we have everything to build the farms, head through to the nether. Before we build any farms though, the first thing we need to do is grab 3 coordinates. 1, the coordinates to a nether waste biome, 2, the coordinates to a crimson forest biome, and 3, the coordinates to a soul sand valley biome. After we've saved these coordinates somewhere, head back to the nether waste biome so that we can build ianxofour's gold farm. When we're done, we need to farm it until in total we have about 6 stacks of golden blocks. This should be relatively easy since we have a sword with sweeping edge and looting. The next farm to build is the Bartering Farm. I've modified this design slightly so that it will work entirely above the nether roof, making the process of construction much easier. Head down to the coordinates of the Crimson Forest and then build the Bartering Farm. Put carved pumpkins in the dispenser and then go up the ladder to the AFK platform until the entity count on screen is slightly over the amount of pumpkins we used in the dispenser. Then we can return to the piglins and trade out about 4 stacks of the golden blocks to get 6 stacks of crying obsidian, 2 stacks of regular obsidian, a bunch of bottles of fire resistance, and a soul speed 3 book. Make sure to not open any containers near the piglins when you use the farm so the piglins don't turn aggressive. The last farm to build is the Ghast Farm, which we'll build in the soul sand valley. Like the Bartering Farm, I've modified the design slightly this time to make it easier to build. This time changing the overworld portal elevator so that it doesn't require the use of slime. After its construction, we're going to use it until we have at least 2 stacks of gas tiers. Next, build a portal on the nether roof that takes us close to the base, but not close enough to link with our original portal. This will be our way to get above the roof if we need to use the farms again or to fast travel. Return back below the nether roof, and now we're going to build a simple blaze farm designed by Eagle Eye 621. To build it, take about 15 minutes of fire resistance potions with you so you don't have to worry about the blazes, and mine out about 12 stacks of netherrack to box in the blazes. The box should have 2 blocks above the spawner, 6 blocks below the spawner, and should extend 4 blocks on 2 adjacent sides and 5 blocks on the other 2 sides, making a 10 by 10 by 9 room. After adding the lava and a simple killing chamber, use it until we have about 1.5 stacks of blaze rods. Before leaving the fortress, if we don't already have it, this is a good chance to pick up some netherwort to brew potions in the future. After completing all the steps, we should have these items here. Back in the overworld, the next step is to build an ominous bottle and raid farm. These are the materials we'll need to build both of them. We need ominous bottles to start the raid farm, so that's the first thing we're going to build. Here, I've altered Insanity 21's design to make it a bit cheaper to build. To make the build process easier, we can build a wall outside the outpost so that we aren't swarmed by pillagers. After its construction, AFK for 15 to 20 minutes, which should be enough to use the raid farm to get all the emeralds we need. Grab only the level 5 ominous bottles, and next step is to go back to the ocean biome to build our raid farm. When we're done, we now need to farm it for about 1.5 stacks of emerald blocks, enough totems for a kit, and as much glowstone as we can. To use it, drink an ominous bottle at the bottom, and then when the raid starts, go up the bubble column. Back at the base, we can now begin our villager trading process. Hopefully by now we have a good amount of villagers. First, brew splash potions of weakness with the spider eyes, brown mushrooms, and sugarcane that we collected, and craft golden apples. We want to convert every villager to a zombie villager and back so that we can get much lower trade prices. First, put a roof over our villager trading area and then capture a zombie in a boat nearby so that it won't despawn. Put the villagers into 2x1 holes with trapdoors on the bottom and then let the zombie into the area to go and attack the villagers. After all the villagers have been converted, return the zombie to the boats and then convert all the zombie villagers back to regular villagers. We can then put profession stations below the trapdoors and get all of our trades. In total, we'll need around 30 villagers for all of the combat, enchantments, food items, bottles of enchanting, and ranged items. This is a lot of villagers, so if you want to complete the trading quicker, I'd recommend building another villager breeder to speed up the process. While we're waiting for the villagers, we can work on brewing potions and grabbing stuff for the next steps, making end crystals, farming for ancient debris, and building the Enderman Farm. This is all we need for those 3 steps. After getting all the trades, just with the EXP collected from the dragon, the gold farm, and the raid farm, we should be able to almost fully enchant our gear. If not, we can enchant the rest at the Enderman Farm we'll build in a bit. Next thing to do is to go to the Nether, where we're going to use the quickest ancient debris mining method in the game. We're going to bring this set of items to the Nether so that while we're getting ancient debris, we can smelt our glass. Use lava from the lava lakes to power the furnaces, and then drink a fire resistance potion and jump into the lava. If we make a pillar like this and then jump to fly, we can see everything that's under the lava, including ancient debris. Use the firework rockets to boost yourself to any veins you see, and without mods, you can get about 20 ancient debris in 10 minutes. By removing fog from the game and making a texture pack to highlight ancient debris, you can get over 50 ancient debris in 10 minutes. After collecting ancient debris, grab any remaining glowstone so that we have 4 stacks in total, and if we don't have one yet, this is our chance to grab a netherite upgrade from a bastion. Leave the nether with some netherrack as well so we can duplicate the templates and upgrade all our gear. Hopefully we have enough diamonds from exploring end cities so that you don't have to mine for any more diamonds, but if you do, we have a Fortune 3 pickaxe to make the process simpler. After upgrading all the gear, the last thing to do is to locate a nearby stronghold, go to the end, and build the Enderman Farm. This is all we need to build the farm. Make sure your spawn point is set at your base, and then grab some Eyes of Ender and go to the end again. In the end, we're going to build an extremely quick Enderman Farm designed by Pum4. After using this farm for about 16 stacks of ender pearls, which should take only about 1 or 2 minutes, we're completely done farming. Head back to the base, and by this point, you should have every material to make a fully maxed vanilla PvP kit. This is how to farm the strongest PvP kits in survival Minecraft. Here's the items you'll need to build every farm in this video, and here's the items to craft a vanilla PvP kit.